Hi, that's me. Get real. This is let me turn the volume down. This is mid-afternoon on Sunday, and I basically am in the middle of watching Fatal Attraction again. So I like to recap my last videos, but I don't want to spend another sort of an hour and 40 minutes, an hour and 5 minutes. So you can always pause and restart the other one. But I wanted to just say that I was kind of talking about life on life's terms, and I was going to mention a little bit about detoxing and having healing crises and having this feeling of, I guess, hopefulness in spite of like I lived in a house where I went in the closet and there was a mouse with baby mice running behind her, and it's scary. I think I was pregnant with my daughter, or not pregnant yet, and we had a closet in the bedroom. You lift up the rug, so it wasn't connected like a normal house. You lift up the rug, the carpeting that was in the closet, so I just threw it down, some extra carpet, and underneath, it's like the linoleum, it was thrown over a piece of oak flooring, and we left it like that, like 70s linoleum. It wasn't stapled on, it wasn't connected anyway. It was just laid on the floor, and there was solid wood flooring underneath. We could have really remodeled that house in West Virginia. I've seen houses in West Virginia for sale right now for a lot of money, and they're kind of rustic, but they're it's like that solid wood, the wooden walls, they still had wooden slats in the closet that they didn't cover with plaster. Solid wood house, no foundation. So you lift up the closet and you put your hand, and it's literally the rock outside, and it was on stilts. The house was on. It wasn't stilts though. So in the front, and I wish we had this. I was like, it would be a good thing to sell. I would probably keep it in the family. We had a bunch of antique horse, what you call them, oh my god, whatever you ride back of a horse, saddles, and a bunch of stuff we should have took everything out of there. There could have been gold under there for all I know. You know how a trailer has the metal bottom, the silver bottom on it? It had a door, so basically it was under the house storage. And under there are all the saddles and stuff, but if you took a flashlight or whatever, you could see that the house was a floor that was built on top of either railroad ties, it might have one railroad tie here, one railroad tie here, and then a log, a big log, for a log cabin, a big log, and then it might have a piece of a railroad tie, or I don't know, cement cinder block or something like that. It was haphazard. That's what my house foundation was. And in the backyard, it was a yard, but it was moist or wet. And the lady said, across the street, was born in that house. She goes, oh, you got to make sure, because there's a stream that runs straight under your house. So there was a stream from the top of the mountain down through the house, and then the laundry and I don't know about the kitchen sink. I think the sinks and the laundry went out to the main road. So apparently there was she's like, oh, you got to check there, have your husband make sure that that stream doesn't get clogged, because then under your house will pool water. And so the washing machine would go down the hill with sudsy water. I was using Dr. Bronner's. I just had a thing of Dr. Bronner's. I didn't have detergent that somebody had sent me, and it would suds up and go down the street, and if it was raining, you'd have a puddle. So then they were sometimes like, oh, you guys are doing too much laundry, you're gonna flood the road, and then the mailman's gonna have to drive through your puddle. She was complaining about, and it's oh, it's none of your business. And we actually had the water. She had the water, or whoever built the house, when it was a water pump house out in the shed. It was full of jars. There's probably so many old jars. Literally, they were probably some that were as of now, probably 100 years old. They had, when the water pump was on, the light would come on. So they would come on at the same time, go off at the same time. So basically, when we moved in, she's like, "Oh, that's gonna come on every time the water." And my husband at the time, unplugged it because it's like, and the whole world knows everything. But she gave me a big list of how to run the house and stuff. I realized that the controlling, abusive people in my life didn't really care about how to run stuff. They're gonna do it themselves. So basically, then everything falls apart, right? Um, there's a lot of, like, the heater in the bathroom, like a lot of stuff. This lady is like giving me a list, like a rundown of everything about maintaining the house. And it had been built, she was 65, 66 at the time. She had been, like, born, I don't know if she was born in the house or not, but she had a doctor birth her, but she was basically, her mom was pregnant, and they owned all of the property up the hill and down the hill where she currently had lived. And there was a creek at the end of that. And we had a well. Anyways, it was a lot of stuff. There's people right outside my window. It's really annoying. I get bothered. I read yesterday's daily meditation about dealing with your neighbors and being joyful and knowing that kids play. I was like, you would say that. You never lived in this neighborhood. So I had made a video today, and it was talking about whatever I was talking about, and then I got really deep talking about the movie Fatal Attraction, which I don't remember watching. I'm in the middle of watching it right now, but I thought I'd stop. I have some work to do for my business, a lot of work to do for all of my businesses, and I felt through prayer and meditation that I needed to take a break, like a day, and I don't take a day. So a day is still like being a farmer. You're still needing to do stuff. And I'm like running the businesses, working outside of the house, and being the parent of the household. And it's very difficult. So I was thinking of this movie. I explained a lot about prayer and meditation, and I was going to title it. I was going to do a clickbait title. You broke up with me and you weren't even going out yet. Or I was going to talk about sex abuse and assault in the people. Not naming the people, but knowing that there's things I specifically remember before I was 18 and after I was 18. And the things that I felt you knew. So I have a lot of memories from when I was a kid. And I have a lot of memories of recurring dreams. And as a kid, I'd remember the memories and remember the dreams. And I remember it so much. I'd sit and ponder and think, because I was alone most of the time when I wasn't in school. And I would, at 40 years old, I still remember vividly. And I had actually a discussion with my child, because she's half my age. She's she's younger than half my age. We were discussing a couple years ago, like the memory that you have, or the memory of that you have of a dream that you had. I don't know. It's like it just starts turning into this puddle of like oil mixed with water. It's just like impossible to understand. It's impossible. Mayonnaise. Whip it up really. I've never made mayonnaise. Sorry. I see that commercial on TV where they have that thing. I was gonna try to make raw mayonnaise. Is mayonnaise even cooked? That's what I don't understand. Let's look it up. Anyways, memories, dreams of memories, dreams of dreams. I used to have dreams. I used to have dreams of. I'm gonna shut this. I don't want these people listening to me. I used to have. I forgot what I was gonna say. I still remember some of the dreams. I remember some of my nightmares. I remember waking like nightmares. Terror. I used to get a lot of sweats after I left my ex-husband. Night sweats like daily. I would have they call it sleep paralysis, or it almost felt like a demon is going through you. Commercial mayonnaise, dressing, and sauce contain pasteurized eggs that are safe to eat. Huh. Traditional homemade mayonnaise contains raw egg yolks. Perfect solution is to purchase irradiated eggs. If the stuff hits the fan, I might be getting whip her out and making raw mayonnaise. I can't deal with eggs, so that may not be. I shouldn't say that, but if there's nothing else in the fridge, actually, if there's nothing else in the fridge and we have like a partial pack of eggs, I'm sure that I would rather give my kids boiled or scrambled eggs. Oh, there's like somebody's, okay, my daughter's hair, this is my daughter's hair. It's socially acceptable. Look how long this is. Oh my god. This isn't even one of the long ones. She's weird. She is weird. Where's it? Where's the camera? I can't even see it. You see it like this, I guess. There we go. This is my kid's hair. It was like in the leg of my pants. Like, she hates my hair being in the shower, but hers is socially acceptable because it's straightish. So, I got really distracted by the voices outside my window. There's like people talking. Anyways, I wanted to talk. This article about police and people not getting the hospital, lady having a baby. They said they refused to come get her, and they called it Little Haiti. So when they said Little Haiti, it makes me think that she was black. And it did not surprise me that they didn't attempt to send somebody to help this person in Florida, but I don't know what the weather is like, so I don't want to be like, I mean, they said one hospital was preparing for a lot of births to happen. I personally delivered both of my children at home with no assistance, except for the kid's dad cut the umbilical cord, so I can't tell you, like, I don't know, I can't tell you anything. I went to school to deliver people's babies. After becoming a physician, I continued my school, and I make no money. I work every day. I never have time to get my paperwork signed, and I feel like I wasted my life, even though that little piece of paper that I stick on my wall that gets renewed each year, I don't have, so I can't do the birth. The knowledge and the skills and the credentials, besides that piece of paper and all of the board exams I have completed, passed, and it's not just turning in the packet with the check, it's literally having to get a couple signatures, and I've pretty much lost contact with the physicians. One of them I was trying really hard to go visit on the east side, and she kind of ignored everything. And so the other one, I should probably get to these people before something happens, before they move out of state or something like that. Let me get my snack. I'm gonna go back to New Seasons. I might go back to New Seasons and purchase more of this because there's a sale going on, and this stuff is super expensive. I have no money though, so I have to do without. But I actually did a little bit of work after having this stuff yesterday. I felt like a little bit of energy. I really want to burn incense, but I don't want my blinds open right now on my window. So what is the solution? I bought a bunch of water because we drink all water. If I make my daughter pasta or my kids ramen, I use bottled water. My animals are predominantly Crystal Geyser. I did give my guinea pigs once when they were new here some Winco water because I think we were out of the other one. I think they were pretty much reused to having tap water. And the bottom of their page, when we got them, their pen, it's like covered with like stains. So I don't think they put anything down. No newspaper, no paper bags. They might have put bark chips, like aspen or whatever. But I don't want. I didn't even when I had plastic surface. I still put newspaper down. The bugs got on there. It was gross. My other guinea pig. But for my rabbit, some reason we're using BB pads for dogs, and they're super expensive, but that really helps things stay dry and clean up easier. So the rabbit just goes on that, but he makes like a squatty potty kind of thing with his toys. We get him the stuff that cats use to scratch, the corrugated cardboard, and he makes like these things that he can squatty. The guinea pigs aren't like potty trained like the rabbit. They just go wherever. If you really want it clean, because they're gonna lay in their own mess. So the potty pads whisk away the moisture, but then they poop, and then they got food everywhere. They got water bottles leaking. So I didn't buy any. Let's look it up. What is? I didn't buy any because I didn't actually. Fred Meyer had a sale, I think, until today. I mean, a coupon. So my phone is like really frozen. So I'm gonna say, what is it? Hearts. P pads. I'm gonna say toxic. I want to say ingredients. Because dogs might not chew on stuff all the time, but the guinea pigs will. I don't hear my phone. Now I'm like, oh my god. Angel is scratching / eating her pee pads. Dorky. Puppy ate it. This is why I didn't buy any. He just ate the entire pee pad while he was at work. So, I like, they're showing a picture of it turning blue. They're showing a picture of the corners having leakage stops. My crazy 5-month puppy is all pad. So this is dogfarm.com. Wonders if he should go to the vet. I need to see what the ingredients are. That's what I'm wondering. Plastic. There's plastic. And I think, I don't really want to go to some Walmart. They had cat litter pans. I think it's just a plastic bag the shape of a litter pan. We never used all this stuff. When I was younger and I had pets, we used newspaper, but we actually got a daily newspaper. And a lot of it was black and white. Not all the dyed. Old-fashioned newsprint. And we don't get that stuff anymore. So nobody's talking about. I just want to know what the gel is. Let's just go to their website. Lavender scent. So I don't want like scented junk. So I've been using either the wee wee pads or the pee pee pads. There's 2 different brands. And I don't think they turn blue. But I don't know what the ingredients are. I don't know if they're actually going to tell me what the ingredients are. This is crazy. So this was said it was soaked. Spreads through the pack. Does not form a gel as the package states. I don't know when they might have changed it. I just want to stick with the same brand because Sebastian, one of the guinea pigs, he'll eat anything you put in there. My daughter caught them, and it's not a big deal. I got cords near there, reaching through their cage and like grabbing stuff from outside their cage and bringing it in. You gotta be really careful. Rodents need to burrow and play and run and jump and climb stuff. Like you see squirrels climbing, jumping from tree to tree, digging holes in the ground. The squirrels dig, chipmunks do, and rabbits do. And then you forage and use their high metabolism, move really fast all the time, and always be looking for food, but running. So when you have caged rodents, they're trying to do those things, but they're contained. So they're trying to forage, but you're feeding them. They try to burrow, but they don't have. They got like 2 inches of or less that they can burrow. And they like to socialize with people and themselves. And they remember everything like an elephant. Like, I remember who you are. When kids walk by, they're like, oh, like my son, he's not gonna feed me. But they're really like, oh, he pokes me and rubs my nose. They just sit there. My daughter walks down the stairs. Boom, they run. They're like freaked out of her. And me, they're like, food? And you got food? What do you get? And if one is getting fed, like if the rabbit's getting fed, the guinea pigs are on that side of the cage, like, what's she doing giving him food? And if the guinea pigs get fed first, then the rabbit is looking over there like, what is she doing feeding them first? And the dry food for the guinea pig is on the other side of the cage, from where the walkway is. And I was feeding them and cleaning their cage yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it was empty. Their little red dish that holds the dry food, and Cosmo was, so if I'm over here, and say I walk by with this jar, and like, sorry guys, I'm not feeding you, or grapes, I'm like, I'm not feeding you, but if it's a banana or something, like, fine, I'll share. Instead of just, because you gotta rinse their food, and give them this, clean the carrots off, break up the stem, all this stuff. It's time consuming. I was lazy, I bought baby carrots today. The kids will not feed them regular carrots. My carrots actually got all rubbery. I gotta get a carrot saver or something. And Cosmo, I was cleaning the cage and I finished, and I was like, oh, I don't want to put your dishes in. I don't know if it had food, but anyways, so the guinea pigs stand up frequently and stand on their hind legs to get your attention and to greet you and squeak. The rabbit does it frequently as well, and he likes to be up high, so he has a little tunnel that he'll stand on, and he'll jump, like 3 feet in the air. So he's jumped and almost climbed out recently. Like, I put towels and sheets on the edges so he can burrow or hide or block the air from the heater and all that stuff, out the direct wind. The guinea pigs, Sebastian, the really big one, he's like 4 pounds. He jumps like, I don't even know why. He's like, I hate to say this, he's like a flea in a, what kind of hound dog? A beagle. It's like a beagle, jumping beagle, but he's actually a rodent, so it's really weird. He'll just jump, like, he's like huge, My kids are like, he's fat. You feed him too much. Put him on a diet. They're like, when we got him, they were both like this. Now one is little because Sebastian steals all the food, and the other one is big. I was like, oh God, I don't want to be obese. But what he does, he'll get excited. He'll have 2 food dishes here, and they're taller than the guinea pigs, or the same height. He'll jump over both of them. I don't know how he gets up. I don't know. But he'll literally come running and go, bing! And you're like, how the heck did you do that? Like, it'd be like me jumping over, like, the bed from this end to the other. But the bed is, like, 5 feet tall. Like, I just don't get it. And Sebastian, like, jumps. Like, he'll just be, like, hanging out, and he'll just start going, boing, 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 like a pogo stick. And you're like, you need to exercise, so keep doing it. But I just don't know what's up with his knees. Do they even have knees? Like, isn't there, is it dogs? Dogs can jump, but can they jump from standing still? Cats, I know, can jump from standing still. And their hair got really thick and long since I got them, and they're not long hairs like my other guinea pig. Sebastian has flat ears like this. I call him the beagle now. I started that yesterday. But he has tufts of hair behind his ears that go up and out, curl up, like Pippi Longstockings. And then Cosmo has a swirl, like a Milky Way galaxy, like that hurricane on the top of his head. And he's only 2 colors, white and that traditional ginger guinea pig color. And his butt end, has really long flowing hair. I'm like, what the heck? And I gotta do their nails, I gotta do their hair. I haven't checked to see if they have any bugs or any scabs. I'm like such a like bum when it comes to this stuff. And they wallow in their mess, but they're super clean freaks. All the animals. Like, I put an extra thing in Shiro, the rabbit's cage. There was days, like, she has 2 marble slabs. He has space to stretch out. He'll be like, he's white as snow. He's a completely clean freak. And he'll still lay on his pee and poop. Not as much anymore, but I think when it was really hot, it was just like wet and moist. So the guy, Cosmo, with this roll, he has a water dish that hangs down and it leaks, and then it has a plate under it to keep the bedding from getting just like soggy and moldy and nasty. And then they got these feet and these curly nails, and they kick everything everywhere. So poop gets in that plate and bedding, and then I used to try to keep it clean every day and put food on there. And I don't know now if it's leaking or if he's peeing on it. And Cosmo lays there half the day on a wet, soggy plate. And after we got him, he started having a ridge. He has that swirl on his head. It doesn't go away. It's like, I don't know, it's a hairpin. I don't know, a swirly whirl. But he's got a ridge on the back of his back, or the side of his back. And I don't know if I don't remember that when he came about 6 months ago when he came to live with us. But he also continuously walks under that water dish spout. Gravity bottle has this tube and then the ball. And if you lick it or touch it, the water comes out. So I don't know if he's continuously walking through there, circling, and that he has, like, a part in his hair, or if his hair is growing in like that. Because I literally think, like, me and the kids were noticing, like, I was like, did he have that when he came? They're like, maybe a little bit, not that much. So I'm like, and my other guinea pig, when we got him, was completely covered with feces and urine, and they tried to help me cut him, and then we found he had guinea pig lice, and this was many years ago. I got him, I had no money. I bought 2 animals. Was it $35 a piece or something? I don't know. I think I had a buy one, get one special adoption fee. And I had a hamster, Boom Boom, and Kimmy, the guinea pig, and he was filthy, and I helped me cut his hair because it was all dreadlock, and he ended up like all I could afford was a head of cabbage. I couldn't even get lettuce. Like I don't give them iceberg but romaine, but the cheapest thing, like I had like literally like less than $1, like a handful of change, and I went and I was going to medical school next week. Do people go to medical school with no money? Like, do people go to medical school and say, "Oh, I don't have any family support, even though my family has gone through millions of dollars in the past 5 years"? Like, again, I say that because I hope to God I can help my kids when they're in school and any other time, but I can't even. My kids are trying to help me more because I am having a really hard time. I always feel like, God, that would be something you really want to be proud of your family member and really pass the bucket around and help. If even you don't have a dime or you don't want to give them a dime, because people think it's a handout, not a hand up. I feel like you could at least be encouraging. But this is a narcissistic victim mentality that I'm having right now, is you waiting for them to act a certain way, and you've waited decades and it's never happened, and you can't just dwell on that. And just like the abusers say, you ain't acting right because you're not. Because now you've set boundaries, you ain't acting right. And like they're not happy because I'm setting boundaries to protect my body from being shot in the face by them. And I'm not happy that they're not putting the gun down, saying, I have family members with a lot of guns. That's why I bring that up a lot, because it's no joke when I say that. There's no way I would open the door to these people. Like it's, let's just leave it at that. Anyways, it's like having um, encouragement. You wait and like, oh, I wish they could say good job and good luck, like 4 little words, but you wait around for a narcissist, an abusive person. They're not going to say anything unless they see you slipping away. Then they will do a script of words that get your attention after they pummel you, or they say the words to reel you back into the relationship, and then they go all out and cuss you out and tell you how miserable of a person you are and how you don't deserve to be alive. And when you have beatings, guns, and that type of language, and a history of threats, it becomes a situation where it is not worth testing the waters when you know that a shark attack has happened 10 times today or 10 times this month. And you have a bloody foot. Like, there's no reason to test the waters on that one. It's just like, dang, I like the ocean, but we're gonna not play around today. We're not gonna, And it's like, you want to enjoy what you feel is part of life, the ocean, love of a relative, but you realize there's sometimes stuff happens and it's stupid, or it's like somebody never drinks and they drink and then they get abusive and they're like, hey, I'm never drinking. Like you can have some once in a lifetime issues. I'm not saying that everybody's got a perfect squeaky clean. I'm watching this movie with a loving couple. It's scripted, it's fake, for the Fatal Attraction. It's like they go look at the house and the sweet, cute wife punches him in the stomach when she's teasing him. So even this movie is it from the 80s or is it from the 90s? Like, even that is like socially acceptable. And it's like when you joke and scare someone, oh my God, there's a spider, and there's no spider, and they laugh, and you like kind of slap them in the arm. Like, even now, I'm like, oh God, don't do that. Like, someone's gonna call a Measure 11 fight. You abuse them. So I basically didn't post the other video yet, and I washed makeup off and everything. I had to take a shower, wash my hair, and I'm like still in a lot of pain. I'm really like uncomfortable right now talking about this. So this will be like my pets, Shiro, Cosmo, this really hair, and then Sebastian. He's got a prince like a cow, that has like spots. I think 3 big spots, and then the flat ears, and then I call him Beagle because he's always, if you put anything in the cage, he's going to get it. And I don't know, I never monitored it very well, but my rabbit has some mail. Somebody's mail is in his cage, and because he chews it and stuff falls next to his cage. I gotta go around and straighten up that because it could be something important. I don't know. There's only a corner left, so I don't know how it got in there. I don't know. Stuff gets buried. He buries it and then pulls it back out, and I'm like, make sure it's not like a check or something. But that's where I am today. And the big thing is, um, I I got that whole like end of the last video, which I don't know if anyone would even watch, even the beginning, talking about if I had this relationship or if I had a friendship, which I said that a few months ago when the lady I was helping me in my program, and it was like communication. I need to work on communication. I need to work on communication with people, and the people that I want to explain stuff to have been very toxic. And when you want to talk about your boundaries, it's almost like the devil knows. And they do this before you want to talk about boundaries. They just will not, they will not have the conversation. They don't know what's up. And you might want to say, wow, if you're going to cancel or not show up at an appointment, can you please let me know ASAP? Like, you can't even say something that takes less than a minute to say. You can't say it. You can't text it. You text it and you see them 3 weeks later and they're like, oh, I never got a text from you. I never got a phone call. I saw that you called, but I didn't think it was important. And no, I didn't listen to your messages either because I don't feel like it. And so you're like, oh, I'm bad. Like, I think, oh, I leave too many messages. Oh, I shouldn't have called once every week. Even though, like, they told me to call once every week, but I'm bothering them. Like, and then they scold you for not talking to them once a week when they don't return your calls, messages, or texts. So you do feel like you're bothering them. So it's like this movie. It's like Psycho. Like, it's like, see this sick behavior. So I'm gonna recap again. It wasn't supposed to be long. About that whole the guy broke up with me. We weren't even going out, and it's really embarrassing to say that because I'm chronically single, and I'm almost 41 years old, and I know, like, when I saw an orange boat. This guy has an orange boat, a Bronco. Sometimes the mail truck's in his yard, and he has the same kind of Kia, and he had other cars in his driveway. And I was like, oh God, I like that boat, that Bronco. Of course, I like his Kia, and I was just like thinking about liking something like I've seen an orange pair of Doc Martens in the freaking Goodwill. I really want those Doc Martens, but I don't. Or the Salvation Army. I probably should. That would have been such a score. It was like 7 years. I still remember people are like, yeah, you're not gonna remember what you don't get. You're not gonna remember what you give away. I remember everything. Like Mr. Monk, it's a blessing and a curse. Yeah, that is quoted from Mr. Monk. So please don't copyright infringe me. I from Monk the TV show. I pray and meditate, and I realized today when I told you guys that I felt through prayer and meditation and my own actions of being clumsy and forgetful and really, really not feeling well. I had Colin sick for the hospital last week. I was coughing, sneezing, carrying on. But because of my diet and my immune system, I get affected by stuff fast. It's not like 10 days later you get a cold. It's like really fast for me. And my symptoms are intense for me, but if you compare me to someone else, they're somewhat mild. So then I'm questioning whether, like, if someone else is the same thing and they have a fever of 101, I have a fever of 99, or like, But what if my regular temperature is actually like 97? Like, that's still high for me. So it's like you can go to a doctor and like, you're not sick, but you're like, oh my god, I feel like 50% of health right now. Like, I feel like I'm about to die. Like, I feel like I need ginger tea and wrap up in a blanket and just like put a cold washcloth on my head. And they're like, yeah, right, you loser. Like, it's been getting worse and worse. Like, worse and worse as in less noticeable for outsiders. But it's like tumors. If your immune system's in check and you get tumors or growths and your immune system's in check, your immune system can maintain that to keep and maybe shrink it down and keep it from turning into cancer. Keep it from metastasizing and keep it from killing you. If your immune system is getting where it can't handle that abnormal growth, it's the same immune system that takes care of colds and flus and fungus. And you end up having another person that starts with the same tumor, their immune system doesn't take it, or they're on corticosteroids, or they're on, say they have some kidney transplant and they're on organ drugs, anti-rejection drugs, for whatever reason, or even chemo, and they're weakening their immune system and they're killing this thing off, but then they could have cropping up other places of other diseases, warts and yeast and bacterial infections, and not even saying hair loss and nausea and vomiting. So you have two people, and it sometimes doesn't matter what food they eat, whether they drink water, only Pepsi Cola, or Pepsi with artificial sweeteners, doesn't, if they're secondhand smoke, third-hand smoke, first-hand smoke, pot smoke, cigar smoke, like they work in a factory with toluene, like you don't know a rhyme or reason sometimes, but then sometimes some people, so the basic thing is, I was at the store today, it was super crowded, and I see these people, a lot of daddies pushing little kids, and I was just like, wow, if they're married, their wife's lucky that they get to chill and do stuff at home, or take the other kids to soccer or whatever, and have daddy take your baby to the store. And if they aren't together, then maybe it's daddy's weekend to take the kid. But I've never had my kids taken to the store by their dad. Like, it's like, oopsie, like, but I don't want to look at them, and I have to remember that people, like when I push my kids, like you just assume these dudes, like you don't want any trouble. You just assume these guys are partnered with someone, but you can't assume anything, because I push my kids all the time like that, and as a single mom, I was not partnered with anybody. So I thought maybe people would come talk to me or smile and say, oh, excuse me, miss, or you're pretty, can you give me your number? Like, that happened once in the Winco parking lot, actually. But you think that maybe stuff would happen when you're not pushing kids in a car or putting them in a car seat, and especially you're not wearing a ring. I bet you if I put on a ring on my finger, I would have more romantic interest. Because there's some weird backward stuff that happens with human beings. That whole wanting what you can't have thing. So it becomes this thing where you're like, oh, there's a lot of health conscious single guys. There's guys younger than me that are bachelors that didn't ever get married or partnered, and they didn't meet Miss Right or somebody. They could have been victims of abuse or narcissistic abuse, or they could have been victims of their spouse or their girlfriend cheating on them. Like, everything is interchanged. It doesn't have to be like it's always the guy's fault or this or that. And you don't know, like, some people find out their partner had an abortion and then that freaks them out, or sometimes there's an accident or the baby died and people break up, like they just can't handle all that. You don't know. And then there's, at my age, younger and older people, second, third, fourth husbands or wives, or they're like already divorced a couple times, and then they're scared because they're scared of child support and alimony and sex and all that stuff. And So I don't know the situation. Most men I know are married or partnered. Pretty much 100% of men I know are married, and the only like few percent that's not are pretty much widowers. Um, or they've recently gotten divorced. Like they're kind of like in a fog, like, oh my god, what happened? And they're having to deal with trying to co-parent the children and stuff. Like they're dealing with drama that I never had to deal with. Um, so I don't understand it. So I know like a very small percent. So even the people that I know on a personal level, or we volunteer together, or something, pretty much the men are 100% are already married or have a girlfriend, like a long-term relationship. So there's no way for me to like if I like this other guy what kept telling me over and over he's single until I asked him, and then he's like, oh no, I have a girlfriend, and you're like, what the heck is your problem? But you're like, you don't know, something can change. Like I could come on tomorrow on the recording and say, oh my god, I have a boyfriend. Like I could be dead, or I could be like, I'm giving up. So part of me is just like, just give up. Like like just deal with cleaning the muck out of the cage and smile and enjoy your life and go, clean the trunk of your car. I don't know. But you always, for me, I always feel like the first thing besides being in a family is always thinking that me and the kids would be able to have friends and relationships with other adults, children, and families. Like if I had been friends with this one guy I'm thinking of, like who's has a son, like this guy is single now. Like, oh, would it be fun to be friends with someone like that? And it doesn't have to be romantic. Could turn into that, and you're like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go out to a restaurant and bring my kids and have an interaction with someone in the community? Have my son have, I mean, then it becomes like kind of psycho. Like have my son see other men who are somewhat sane, like compared to the other people we're related to, and just be a positive influence. And it doesn't have to be anything more than like friendship. It's not saying like, oh, because the kids met you, I have to marry you now or whatever. Like this movie I'm watching where she's really psycho. Um, but I'm that person who's got to deal with this is my reality in all these dreams. Like even women I know, pretty much 100% of them are married, and not one of them wants to hang out with me. And the only ones I know that aren't married have been married about 4 times, 3, 4 times, maybe more. One friend I had last summer, she had been married so many times she can't remember at all. Um, like she can't remember if it was 6 or 7 or this, and that's her prerogative, that's her business. And because people go through that craziness and paperwork and fees, people will, especially I read about boomers and 50 plus women, and they were talking about the largest group of women or people in this country. I don't know. Basically, it was 50 plus women had long-term relationships with boyfriends, but that were living in the house that they owned with them, but they weren't marrying them. So it seems like a few years ago, like the 70-something-year-olds would be like, oh my god, you're cohabitating, you're a slut. Like, it doesn't matter how well the partnership is. It doesn't matter, well, you're married, you're getting beaten on a daily basis, and you're having this guy beat you and hurt you in front of your kids, witnessing and crying and screaming and banging on walls because we're like, please make it stop, call the police. Like I remember being that kid crying and being like, make it stop, versus somebody that's cohabitating and living together in unison, in union, and they just happen to not have taken the vows yet, right, legally. And so it's like, part of it is like feeling like it's all under what you, your partner, and your higher power, if you have one, says, not about what your relative or your aunt or your neighbor says. Like, that's my opinion. Um, I know in the church they're like, you can't have opinions like that, but it also, they were blinded by who was good and who was bad, and who they clapped for and pat on the back were like the stinkiest people that I ever met in or out of church. And it's just funny how they will wear those. They always talked about rose-colored glasses in my old church, and they will talk about people like me. Like I told you last video, the pastor's wife called me stupid for having been abused as a child and as a young adult. But when you got someone coming after you, you live in the house and you can't escape. Yeah, maybe I am stupid, but there's also runaways that end up on the street for the rest of their life, and there's also people that shoot people and end up in jail for the rest of their life. So it's like, oh, I had to wait it out. I had to wait until I could legally leave the house, and I still was gone before age 18. Um, and in those situations where your mom is threatening to kill you on a daily basis, it is getting out of the skin of your teeth. You just made it. You just barely, like that last airplane out of Florida, like, oh, you just made it. Um, so having that, like, patience, and having my higher power said, everyone you're meeting, when I came out of that, like the fear, obligation, and guilt they talk about with narcissist victims, fear, obligation, guilt, and I added shame, so fogs, coming out of those fogs last summer, I felt that a lot of truth came out of who I am as a person, that I can't blame other people. Like, if you have a baby and you're a mom, you can't blame your kids that you're a mom. Like, it's not even a blame thing. It's just a fact. If you were raised in poverty or you were raised in wealth, it's not even like the word blame, but it's like, why did you have such and such? Why did you have braces? Oh, because my parents had the money or the insurance that paid for the braces. Like, why did you learn how to sail? Because they had the means to own multiple sailboats and have actual days off, unlike me and my daughter, that they could actually go out and sail up and down the Great Lakes for a week. So it becomes this, like, why am I, like, so paranoid of people? Why am I spending a lot of energy talking about abuse and sexual assault? So I don't really want to blame others, even though, like, a lot of people say don't play the blame game. It's like, if you come to my house and cut my arm off right now, I can say you cut my arm off. Now I'm, like, severely handicapped, or I guess, like, I already have a lot of pain here. It's like, oh god, it's like super hot. Did you ever get that? I told you I have chronic pain from a car accident. It was hot a couple days ago. I was filming. It's like super, super hot. Um, it's like people. I think that you can blame someone. A drunk driver runs into you, kills your kid. You could blame somebody for that, and they could be prosecuted for it, and it changed your life, and it caused you a lot of trauma. It's true. People need not to say blame game. If I don't do the dishes, I could blame the person who hit me in the car because I can't walk downstairs. But at the same time, it is my responsibility. So I had to kind of keep it not self-abusive, but say I have to take care of this. I was reading one of Joyce Meyer's books about one of the guys who volunteered, and how he took like an hour to get from his car into the front door because he was disabled, and he had to get himself in a wheelchair. So I don't know what the story was, but I still remember that story because I said, I have received no help, and I've struggled with surgeries and car accidents and very severe illnesses and going to the ER, having to drag my kids, and I couldn't find one person to help us. And I said, if we were going to be evicted October 1st because I can't pay rent, or this and this happened, my lights get shut off, we can't cook, and the heat gets shut off, so take cold showers, I will be in the dark. I would have to say, because of past experience, I would crawl on, if you cut my arm off, on one elbow, carry my wallet and my teeth to freaking go look for work and go to the food pantry and go drive my car with one arm. Like, because of what I've had to do in the past, it feels like you're crawling with your elbows through the mud with freaking rats trying to hold you back by biting your legs and your pants. And it's like you're crawling on nails, because then it's like, it's not like like Snow White, where they go to the diamond mine. It's like painful, and it's like people are spitting in your face, and the counselors and the food stamp people and the welfare people and the pastors at the church and the so-called people you thought were your friends are all spitting in your face and slamming your face in the mud. And so that's how I've spent the past 13 years. So people would say I'm really negative, but I've allowed those people to define how I feel about myself. So I felt, because I stayed home this weekend, God's like, good job. You went and made sure your kids have milk and cereal. If even just milk cereal and Eggo waffles with syrup. Yeah, you're broke, but your kids will not go to bed hungry today. And I was like, God, I'm a loser. I should be buying the stuff they actually asked for. Some of the, oh my God, what the heck was that? It was like super loud. Oh my God. That made my heart drop so much. My car's right out there. I'm like, what the heck was that? And, I felt like I always read Christian books, and they were always set up for married white couples that have kids, and they had these simple jobs, no education, making like, only my husband works. We only make $85,000 a year, and God, our mortgage is like $765. Oh my God, we're so poor. I have 2 kids. I can barely trust them. And I was like, dude, seriously, try having like a $300 a month income, and your rent is $870, and you're a single parent. It's I know people have their own things that's stressful to them, but it's like their demographic. I couldn't relate to these books. And a couple of Christian books, I said, now I got single mom books. One was, I think they were both written by married women or women without kids. Like, hey, it's date night. You get to go on a date or go out with a friend for tea while grandma watches it, or your neighbor. And you're like, I have no grandma, no neighbor, nobody. And I have no date. And they're like, it's like all this, like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And you're like, after work, take your car to the car wash. That'll make you feel good. That's only an extra $5 out of your day. And you're like, I made negative $30 today. It's my medical job. I'm like, oh. Like, and so I can't blame others. I just couldn't relate to these stories. And it made me feel bad. And it made me feel like these people have it easy. And these people, I've seen everyone around me, single or not single, have this support network. And men and women. And I've seen everyone, and I haven't had that support network, and it's really scary. There's not much I can do about it. People argue with me because they don't believe that me and the kids are taking care of each other. They don't believe it because I think they don't understand. But one of my things I hate was being called a liar. Like, no, there's no way that you work 4 jobs. There's no way you did this. Like, well, just because you don't have to, and your mom didn't have to, and your dad didn't have to, your neighbor didn't have to, doesn't mean. And a lot of the people are in, like the West Hills here, which is predominantly white, upper middle class incomes, and if you own your house and you're older, like my age or older, your mortgage, if you even have one anymore, is going to be so low compared to my rent. And I live in Section 8 housing, so it is so high. Oh my God. It goes up at least twice a year. It's really scary. Um, I looked at house purchasing for many years. I kept my eye on the market. I looked at mortgage rates. I looked at what the down payment would be, what it wouldn't be. I looked at adding the taxes, the insurance, all the extra stuff that you add on. And anything I looked at for a 3 or 4 bedroom house, some even with an in-ground pool, was cheaper than my welfare housing. Literally. I haven't looked in the past, well, I only look a couple times a year. And the only reason that I didn't buy is because the banks wouldn't give me the time of day. And I said I pay rent higher than a mortgage. They're like, so what? You don't have a cosigner and you don't have a full-time job. And I said, so what? I'm paying my rent. I will show you every single rent receipt for the past 10 years, 13 years, where I'm doing it as a single parent. Like, too bad. They don't even look. They don't see. I could have had $600,000 cash in my bank account. They never even go into my bank. So they're like, ma'am, we're not going to help you. You need to call a broker. Banks are not going to give you anything. I did this before the market crashed. And they just were like, we're not going to help. I was like, I need to invest my money in this so I can get some CDs and stuff. Like, well, we're not going to help you. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And they try to do stuff online, and then it gets kind of shady, and then you go to like places that you never heard of, and you're trying to like, oh, I don't want to give them my social security and my bank account routing number and all this. That's really loud too. So it becomes this thing like where it's, I feel like today, I feel like when I'm home, it's like, what I was going to say was, it becomes you stay at home and you sit in your room and you watch a movie, you have date night with Jesus. That's what it becomes, and you're just like a nun. It's like, oh my God, I'm sharing this man with millions of other women. It's like, I was like, this is not, I want a monogamous relationship. What the heck? Why do I have to share this lover, this buddy, this friend with millions of people, billions of people? Yeah, it would be billions of women and men and children. So I would get this jealousy. It's like, oh well, it's a spiritual thing. It's not like sex or something. But you want to have somebody like, you could borrow your neighbor's dog once in a while and babysit their baby. But sometimes you want your own dog or your own baby. But you can't complain because you have no choice. I can't buy a house, and I haven't been able to adopt a dog because they don't like that I'm a single parent. And they don't know me. There's married couples that kill babies that they put in foster care. But these people have the right house, the right look, the right hair color, and it's not what I have. And so it's very disheartening to know who you are, who the truth is about yourself, and people don't give you a chance. Um, so I would get like this thing when I stay home that I can hear the still small voice of God and look at the truth about my life, because I'm not hiding and going to the food bank every day or to volunteer, or going to this thing across town to volunteer and be treated like garbage and have people send me nasty emails at 7 in the morning and phone calls, and in return to my free help and expertise, since I am a physician and it was medical stuff that I was volunteering sometimes for. And so I just felt like this still small voice, and I was walking out the store. It was super crowded at Winco this morning, and I was like, wow, I'm really here. I do raw food, so you kind of like get like spiritually tripped out, in my opinion. And it's like, oh my God, God's like, I was like, oh my God, I spent all my money. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And God's like, what's in your cart right now? Food for my kids and my animals, and grass for all three of the animals. Like, you went in because you have people you're caring for, and you feel like your relatives tell you how selfish and unloving you are, how ugly and fat you are, and you're going in the store to spend every last penny you have to buy food so they cannot go to bed hungry. And I felt my higher power is like, you're supposed to feel like you don't have to take credit. Like, I give God credit because of my low income. But it's like I'm saying, God, like, God's like, you are buying your family food. You bought some bananas and some almonds for you to share with the animals, but everything else is for the kids. And I bought some water. I'm going to do a video about extreme detoxing. And it's not like a, let's do this thing, we're going to sign up for this class. It's what I'm going to talk about for extreme detoxing is doing a big detox regimen for many years, where it was kind of like, we're going to do this for a year. We're going to do this regimen that's really strict, and lemon juice, and this and this and this. What it became for me was a lifestyle. And my higher power was like, you only really drink, and I have to be careful with these tops. Sometimes they leak compared to the crystal geyser. If you put them on any top on crooked, it's going to leak, but you have to be careful with this Winco brands or the Fred Meyer brands or whatever. But it's like my higher power would say, you need to drink more water, and if it's by drinking this, one carton of this is $3.28 for 35 of these. $3.28 or $3.38. I think the 25 pack, so this is 35. The 24 pack was $2.70. Let's just say $3.48 divided by 35 equals. So these are 10 cents a piece. These are 10 cents a piece, and I did buy gallons. Sometimes the gallons cost more per ounce. I felt my higher power. So put that on your list. You need one of these Winco waters because you're not going to drink your kids' crystal geyser unless it's an emergency. These are expensive. They last very short time. And I do my mineral water plain, or the big ones, I make my lemonade. I bought a whole bag of lemon. I felt like God's like, you need to talk to your people about extreme detox. So it's more of a lifestyle, like dieting. I see people dieting and then they gain it all plus some. And like I see this one lady and she doesn't gain anywhere near where I was when I was at my highest weight. So she's lucky there. But everyone's weight and their age, it starts to show in different spots. Here. I always have stuff here, but your gravity in your skin and your age and, whether or not you had kids, whether you're male or female. So I always thought of lifestyle change. And when I did lifestyle change, it started in the 80s for me, and I was very young when I started lifestyle change. And I just built onto it. And thinking about the men who may or may not, like these guys are pretty hipster, simple, not like hipster, like look at me, I got the cool glasses and I got this, kind of backpack that's this hipster brand. Like I see these guys, and I don't know if they're single, married, straight, gay, in the grocery store, and they're like white, clean cut, maybe glass, maybe not, wearing a t-shirt and jeans or a pair of shorts, getting in a nice clean car, pushing their car, getting their stuff going. Like some of these dudes, I'm like, I wonder if any of these dudes are like single. 'Cause I would so be like, hi, you look nice, are you single? Like, I would so do that because it's like getting to the point where like I used to talk to guys at, like while I was working or while I was in a meeting or something, and just say hi, or they say, oh hi, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while, and you just start talking, how's your business going? And then they don't have a ring on, and someone comes out of the bathroom and sits next to them, and they're like, oh, that's my wife, and you're like it's like that's not chitter chatter. Like simple hi, goodbye, have a good day. I'm not saying it's bad to chitter chatter, but a lot of these guys, they'll talk to you and smile a lot too much, and you think that, wow, this guy's sweet, and then their wives come out from nowhere, or their wives pick them up, and they're like giving you the eye, because I find that I find that guys that are with somebody have an easier time. I'm like, how does this freaking work? My kids made me this vest. It's pretty awesome, actually. Um, it's made out of a kid's t-shirt. They kept asking for an old t-shirt, and I was like, I don't have anything. And I didn't. They were trying so hard to get a bigger shirt, and they ended up having to use one of my sons. It was Christmas, and they actually did something together. And I just found it. I don't know where. I think it was in like the sweaters or something. I think I'm gonna wear this and get rid of all my other vests. I lie. I'm not gonna get rid of all my other vests. I might get rid of a couple, but I was like, I should like. The thing is, I used to kind of look at people, or people would touch me more when I was fat or whatever, and then when I would lose weight, when I lost weight the first time, then I noticed guys opening doors, and then that stopped. Like opening doors, they're actually a door. It's not automatic. And then when I went no contact with my relatives last year, I picked my freaking face up off the ground because I was being so much beaten down by abuse that I was broken, completely broken. And I noticed people were holding doors open for me. So between weight loss and self-confidence and being older and having this car accident, I have my own stuff to deal with, but I was being beaten down. So as I was 0 to age 40, the same abusers were trying to beat me down. So it was basically digging a deeper hole as I became age 40, besides life on life terms. So I noticed, like, at the hospital, guys were holding the door open. So if I'm standing on the ground like that, they might have been holding it open. I just might not have noticed. Or you look at somebody, what is it when you do? And they're looking on their phone or something. You might want to be like, oh man, I like her hat. It costs 10 cents for the bottle and 10 cents for the drink. And you're like, see, 10 cents. It actually costs 20. Actually, it costs more for the deposit than the actual products. Anyways, but I'll get that deposit back as long as I can keep track of the UPC symbol. So it's like, a lot of these guys that were friendly, and I'd see at meetings and stuff, and their wives would go, and the wives had this big shiny diamond ring and wedding ring. They had no ring, and they're like all like in your face, asking about how you are and this and that. Nice to see you, giving you hugs, and then you find out the woman sitting over there watching all the time is actually their wife, and you're like, oh my god, that's so not cool. It's like either the wife is bisexual and he's trying to reel someone in, or he's just a flirt, and his wife waits to the point to slap him up inside the head. But I think when my ex-husbands told me when I was single, women wouldn't come after me, but when I'm married, they're always hitting on me, and he refused to wear a wedding ring as well. After like the first like few weeks of being married, we just had one of my mom's old rings, and it's so hard to be barefoot in the kitchen, literally scrubbing the house, cleaning his clothes, making him wholesome meals, creatively, because you didn't really have money for food, or having to walk 2 miles to the store because you took your car to get food while you're carrying kids or whatever. It's just so ridiculous. And I I see, it's like, he's at home, he's resting, he's not scrubbing the toilet, he's not vacuuming his floor, he's not doing laundry. If he was a bachelor, he'd be doing these things. So not only is he having his stuff be cleaned and food put on his stomach, he's able to rest. And I think resting has been one thing that I have done 3 times since like 21. I remember each time I rested, like for a Sunday afternoon. Like, I kid you not, I remember it as 3 times. Twice in West Virginia and once in Portland. And I looked in the mirror the first times I rested. Because like I said, coming from abuse, you're always walking eggshells. You're not allowed to sleep in as a teenager. And then I would stay up late and drink to get rid of the pain of the abuse. And 2 times in West Virginia, I had to sleep in. I was, versus waking up at dawn. And I looked in the mirror and I said, amazing. Like, my face didn't have acne. I had bright eyes. I just looked like a different person. Not like how I look now. And then one time in Portland, I said this 3 times this month, or in the past month, one of my supervisors at shift, who I'd had on more than one shift, I went into a community clinic and we all sat around tables until the patients came and did chart reviews and checked the med cabinet and set up the room. And she'd come, we'd set up before she got there, and she came in and was staring at me funny. And she came over, she's like, I gotta say something. When I came in today, I didn't recognize you. I was like, who is this sitting at the table? And there's not many black people in my medical school. She goes, I literally did not recognize you. She goes, what, did you get some sleep or something? I was like, oh, God, I felt so sick last night, or yesterday afternoon. I was going to church at the time. I said I have kids, so you're never able to take a Sunday nap or anything because you always have to feed someone, clean clothes, help clean out backpacks, all that stuff you have, your children. People say, why don't you make your kids do it? Well, they're little, you do it, and they learn. And if they don't do it, you learn your lesson when you find out that they got a piece of paper that's been in their bag for a month that they have to bring bunch of stuff to school Monday morning, and you were like, gosh, I wish I had this 4 weeks ago. So you finally learn, or your kids won't clean because they're fighting, or they have food allergies and they went berserk and they lock themselves in the room like my son used to do, and you have an inspection, you have to clean your freaking dishes, whether they help you or not, right? Or else you're going to be evicted. And she didn't recognize me, and I knew that I slept. I just slept. She goes, wow. And she was always promoting self-care, getting your hair done, getting manicures, getting new outfits. And she was married. She had a big Zsa Zsa ring and didn't have any children and owned a house in the city on the east side, and just was really, she dressed real nice and ate really good, ate really well, and was really happy. She was like, oh, I gotta do self-care, I gotta go and I have to get massage, this, several times a week. And I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to have that kind of care done on my body. And I feel like sometimes people like the single mom or someone being beaten, like you could use even a day of spa day and rest day and have somebody else help you with your family. Somebody that's not just gonna go through your house and steal your wallet. Like, I've had people help me and then my wallet turns up missing. So then you're like, it's not worth it. I just won't rest. I'll just do the work. It's like cause you more havoc to have to cancel your credit cards and go in DMV and get a new, driver's license. And, oh shoot, that my social security card happened to be in there. So when I was homeless, they say don't keep your social security card, and you are like homeless, you kind of had to keep everything on you at all times. And when you live in these housing programs, people come in and out of your house. You have a new maintenance person come in and out of your house, stuff walks, stuff disappears, and they've left town before you had a chance to, report it, and it sucks. Someone can break into my house I own, I could have a moat and a wrought iron gate, and armed guards, they could still break into my house and steal diamonds if I had them, which I don't. That'd be nice. There's one thing I always wanted was a diamond. Could you imagine wanting like a diamond or a nice watch? I'd rather have friendships and partners, intimate partners, than to have those things. But could you imagine just being in such poverty and then other people have so much? I don't need it. It's not going to help me survive. Sometimes I just think as I get older that these things should be a dream, and it helps you be hopeful sometimes to think maybe you'll have this pretty thing that you've been blessed with, but then you feel like you're being cursed, and you're like, oh God, you're not doing this to me, I'm doing it to myself. I'm going to watch the rest of the movie right now because it's almost time to go, and I'm going to read this book, Oregon Nature Weekends, and by Jim Yuskavich, and I I just wanted to check in with all that stuff. I talked about the animals. I talked a little bit about the abuse, and I guess the big thing that I didn't want to talk about now, because I want to watch my movie and everything, I can't have a diamond. I can't have a dog. I can't have a nice watch. No offense, Timex, but I have that scab on my hand from having to wind you all the time. I can't have friends. I can't like clap my hands and say, "Magic Genie, come over to me. I wish for a friend." You know, I can't force other people to. You know, I could be careless and go on my credit card and go to Fred Meyer Jewelers right now and buy a diamond and use my Fred Meyer number to earn rewards on it. But then I'll be more credit card debt, and I already have a ton of bills. That's what my phone was doing alerts to remind me that I have a ton of bills that are due, potentially past due, that I haven't paid. And I can't force myself to say, snap, snap, I'm going to meet a single dude who doesn't take huge offense to me as my demographic, and vice versa. Or me as an individual should be the big thing, but they can't get to you as an individual if they don't like your demographic. If they don't like that you're black, or you have natural hair, or like you're wearing too little makeup, or too much makeup, or you're driving a Kia. Like, people made fun of me for driving. So many people made fun of me for driving a Kia. I really like my car. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I had the money, I would be living in a multi-million-dollar house, and I'd have one of those big garages. Instead of sports cars, I would have like all these different types of Kias. I swear, the Wolverine one. I swear I would be like, oh my god. Like, I am waiting for them to come out with a convertible. I don't know why. I'm gonna put like a picture on. I used to put like sports cars on my wall and have counters. I would put like pictures of Kias on my wall. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm getting this framed. Orange. I want like bling. I want like glitter. Are you guys listening, Kia? I want bling. I want glitter inside. I want accents. And please keep those light things. But I want like my Halloween light downstairs that kind of has like that milky glow in the middle. Actually, I think they already did that. But my car is one of the early, if not one of the first models, 2010. They might have had 2009 Kia Souls. But my seats glow in the dark, by the way. If you're actually listening to this video, find a friend with the Kia Soul if you have it. One that's a plus, I think, not the base model. The one up from that. People told me I was tripping on it. Dude, my kids told me that. We went camping, and it was thunder and lightning. We ran in the car, and they were hiding under a blanket. And so it was completely dark because we were out where the forest fires are right now. I think that's the last time we went camping. We might have gone to Camp Dakota. But yeah, I can't force myself. But if I feel my higher power saying stay home and rest today, and stay in prayer and meditation, and light your little candles, and light your little incense, then that can be something that makes me hear that still small voice. And if anything, I have to have my gratitude list. If anything, I have to say, you don't know what's going to happen with people in your life, with jobs, with your kids. You don't know if your baby's going to die of SIDS, anything like that. And I have to say, like, that put a pin in it from the movie Bolt, that I did what my higher power said to do with these friends this past year and a half. I called them when God said to call them. I didn't call them when God said not to call them. God says this last time, this guy that kicked me to the curb was like, God's like, don't worry, don't even think about worrying about what you're going to say, because what you're saying is going to be God inspired. Your interactions, if you don't see somebody for 3 weeks, that's a God thing. If you see this person 10 times in a week, then that's a God thing. Like, so I felt really at peace with having things work in the universe the way they were supposed to. But my human mind is angry. My human mind wants to get on online dating and distract myself from severe loneliness. My human mind wants to go to one of my old Yahoo accounts and see what's going on in the meetup groups I never attended any meetups for. My human mind wants to go to a meeting right now. My spiritual voice says, you're going to a meeting tomorrow, you're going to rest today, you're going to settle this issue with the return. I almost just want to say, you know, that you just keep the freaking product. Like, at this point in time, I'm just about to issue a refund. I don't even care. I might be able to do it through PayPal, but I want everything documented through um, eBay, and I don't want her to give me a negative review. But I will keep you posted. I really wanted to, like, God's like, do it. I really want to light a candle and light my incense right now, but I know I gotta leave in about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'll have time to put everything out. I'm really, really hungry. I feel really, really weak and scared. And um, I've almost starved to death before, and I heard one of the pastors said, man, I gotta get out of church, I'm starving, we gotta go, we're gonna go to a restaurant. And he can't say that every week, and I was such a brat. I was living in a homeless shelter, and I didn't have any money for food. And I had lived in the woods in a tent in my car, and I had no food. And I told this person, I was like, I know you're really hungry, I understand, plus you're a dude and you're big. I was like, but you're not starving. I was like, don't say that. I was like, I was just like so angry because I've been like, when I was pregnant with my daughter and before that, I was like like, so hungry. And I had issues with certain chemicals that make you not eat more than once in my life. And after being homeless and using this substance, even coffee and cigarettes can contribute to that. I had been nursing and pregnant for 4 years, so even if I had some morsels of food, the energy goes out by nursing your babies and carrying them around. My dad had said, when everything was, I was literally a couple times during this period pretty close. I didn't look like an anorexic. I don't remember. Because it was also this time that I stopped looking in the mirror. Should I probably stop looking in the mirror way before that because I was living with abusive people. You don't lift your head off the ground when you're that abused. And my dad said that's the only time in your life that you ever looked good. You've never looked good. So imagine your mind saying, you're married, you're bright, you have this glow in your cheeks because you're pregnant, you're a baby, you're a 2-year-old with teeth coming in and a big smile. You're 10 and you're changing from a kid to a young woman, getting taller. You're 13 and you play 3 sports a year and swim all summer, and you're kind of buff, and you have a feminine body up until 17. You're in college and you dress like a hippie, you have long hair, for the first and only time in my life. And to say when I was literally almost starving to death was the only time that I looked good. I don't even know if I have pictures. I feel it's like you're so dark into this behavior. You got hollowed out eyes, and it's almost like a demonic look in your eye. I gained a lot of weight after that. After my dad said that to me, I gained like 100 pounds. He said that's the only time, and it's almost like you know this person's a freaking jerk. And the bigger you are, the more protected you are, and the bigger you are, it's almost like you're testing these people. Say, oh yeah, well you're supposed to love me, and if you only love me when I'm little, then I'm gonna test you by getting big, and if you love me when I'm big, then I'll know you're legit. They never loved you at all. What they like is that control. This person has eating issues themselves. They like that control. And if you're anorexic, it's like almost like hoarding. It's almost like OCD, a compulsion to be in control of something. And a lot of us that have these compulsions were hurt as a kid. I'm not saying all of us, because I don't do studies on all of us or all people. But being hurt so much as a kid and building this wall and this obsession and growing weight. I didn't even eat any differently. It was almost mentally my body packed on the pounds. I eat different foods now, but my mind has stopped allowing, it's another control thing. I've blocked the people that said really mean things to me, and people still say really mean things to me. So when I'm at home, it's a memory issue, memorizing what they said. And then my mind says, oh yeah, you are a fatso. Or I'll tell my kid, oh yeah, I'm a slob. Someone else called me a slob. And then it's like, crap. Because then you hear them say, oh, I am fat and I'm a slob. Like, oh no, what did I do? I passed it on to my kids. My son said, Mommy, I want to eat a lot of food so I could be fat like you when he was little. And now me and him, we are the ones that like to eat the most. And we both have a little stomach. And it's just like, well. But it's like, that family, it's like you feel like you're going to get slapped. Like in the face. Because you gained half a pound since yesterday. And when your family trained you that way, even if you don't answer the phone to them, when you get on the Wii and you gain a half a pound, you get this mental like slap, like you don't get, like, I don't care if I'm 450 pounds. If I love myself and my higher power loves me, and I'm confident in who I am, if I'm confident in who I am, no matter what I look like, if I fall asleep with the incense burning, my face gets half burned off. If I'm confident who I am and that my higher powers, my higher powers in charge, I could find Mr. Right for all I know. Like, it doesn't mean, like, my family always said, you're so imperfect, you're so ugly, you're so nappy, your feet curving, we don't like your fingernail right here, this one's really messed up, like, you gotta get surgery or something. Like, there was always surgeries and doctor stuff and cosmetic stuff. And they're like, if you mess up what we paid for, or my mom said, I'm going to kill you. There's a lot of things she said she wanted to kill me for. But when they literally drag you out of bed and beat the crap out of you, you feel like they really are going to kill you. When they have the 357 Magnum hidden in the house, among other weapons, you hope to God they don't have bullets, because these people are psycho. And you know they have bullets, but you're like, hope that God will protect you. So why am I saying this after thinking I'm making a recap? I'm saying this because somebody might actually listen and might actually have this issue. And the big issue is, I wanted to move forward, so I think, oh, it's fall, I feel like a busy bee finishing up, or a busy ant finishing up gathering for the summer. I feel like the people in Hurricane that are like hunkering down in their bunkers, waiting for the storm to pass. I feel like that person who is a single mom that's struggling and tired all the time, and you're like, why can't I have a friend? Or my mind always says, when I see successful people or people dating, wow, that's for white people, but black women, we don't get to have that. Sorry, and I have to get those thoughts out of my head. So what I'm gonna do is, I know I have to do some exercises mentally, because those thoughts still come through, even if I don't say it out loud to you. So I have to do the positive affirmations. I have to do something to get those thoughts out of my head. And there's new people that come in and out of my life that are just as toxic, if not worse, than the people that I fled. And I have to tell myself, it's okay to walk the other way. If they say, ma'am, it's okay for me at work to say, I don't work here, I'm off the clock, sorry. Like, there's some people that will get in your face, and you swear if they had a gun that you would have already been dead. There's some people that are just nuts. I am Not kidding. So that's where I am today, is learning. I have to move forward in life because God's given me another day of life, of breath, of heart rate, heartbeat. And I always said I wanted to enjoy my life, but I get in this pity party of I don't have anyone that loves me, no relatives. All these people are talking about, oh, my grandma's so sweet. I'm going to grandma's house for the week. I'm taking a week off of work. And they're my age, and they still have their grandmas would be, what, 80 something years old. I don't have a grandma. My kids, they were jerks to me. And I'm like, I have to learn, and I keep saying this, and it's really embarrassing. I have to learn to do things on my own and enjoy it and simplify my life, because the abuse, I realized only last month. I think it might have been July, but it was July, August 2017. I just found out in my thoughts that I make things complicated. I trash, like, my room and don't get rid of stuff that could be gotten rid of, because it gives me the chance to say I have so much work to do. I can't do anything. I can't talk to anyone. I can't go anywhere fun. I can't go to the park and put a blanket down and stare at the sky. But I realized if all this stuff was out here, the way that my mind works and the way that I utilize the library and watch YouTube, I don't think I would be bored. So it's almost like because my parents made me do work all the time around the house, you couldn't have a day off of school. Your day off of school was doing work around the house while they slept and watched TV. Um, so it becomes that, look at me, I'm busy. Look at me, I have work to do. Look at me, I'm busy. Like, you wait for someone to say, fine, you're doing what you're supposed to do, go on. Because as a child, if you weren't busy or had work to do, or they saw you doing dishes, if you didn't do that, you'd get beaten. I mean, if you did do that, you got beaten. But it was like almost another way to control the situation by as an adult, always having someplace to be, a job to go to. Look at me. Like, it's not like they praised you. Oh, good job doing the dishes. Thanks a lot. Good job going to work and we're earning money to pay for dog food. Like, they never praise you. They're like, what? That's all? You're not doing a good enough job. So all this stuff, sometimes you don't want to date because you feel like you have so much baggage that nobody would love you. But you also know that those abusers said that you have so much baggage nobody would love you. So then you start to believe those lies. And it's not even about somebody taking care of me. Who knows? Maybe God wants me and somebody to have 50-50 pay the household expenses, help each other with each other's diet, help each other's exercise. Like, you never know what is God's plan. Or like I keep saying, in 99 years, I might still be recording. So guess what? I'm still single. I don't have friends. Those so-called friends that I told you that were calling me recently because they had all these life dramas, not one of them has called me back. Still, I've called and or texted them over a month ago. And I am going to tell you, Accountability Club, I am done with them. I'm sorry, but I am done with them. It is really hurtful for them to treat me this poorly, and I will admit to it, because what happened each time I went back to being friends with them or falling for their little crying messages was like the narcissist victim. Well, maybe they'll change, or what's worse is, this is familiar. And your journals get up and you cry because they don't treat you like a human. Treat you like a rat that they're trying to bait and kill in a trap. And it's that familiarity of your so-called loved ones hating you and letting you know with words and actions that they think you're scum of the earth. And you have to say, I don't know if people put rose petals in a lake, but I'm also about to go to the east side, grab some old roses and sprinkle them in one of those ponds over there on one of those parks in the east side. Got roses and all that kind of stuff. I'm about to sprinkle them and just say a ceremony and say it's time to move on, clean the slate. It's like if a hive
bees leaves the hive and a new family moves in. I don't know if they recycle beehives or not. Sometimes they flee their nest or the hive.